Okay, it's time. It's 6:30. I'm going to call the meeting to order.
Get that gavel going. Do it.
Let's open the meeting by standing for the pledge if you want to, only. Then we'll have a moment of silence.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right. The first item on our agenda is to see if anyone wants to amend the agenda.
I'd like to move the cannabis caboose to the front here of new business because Ralph's here and get that out of the way. Yeah, I didn't think he'd be here, so I put it last instead of.
Do we need a motion or can we just do it?
Just
Just do it. Okay, we're gonna move the cannabis caboose item to the top of the list of new business. Any other amendments? Okay. Now it's time to approve the minutes. We have two meeting minutes to approve. One's January 9 and one's January 16. I'll be looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve both meeting minutes.
Okay. Let's take a vote. Emma, how do you vote?
Aye.
Right.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Any discussion? All right, the minutes have been approved. Public comments for items not on the agenda. All right, I see nothing. So the agenda starts with new business, and since we've moved Ralph's renewal license situation up to the beginning, we'll start with that. It's an action item. We'll be taking a vote.
Okay, on the last page of the packet that you have here is an email that I got from the state cannabis control board, letting us know that a license was up for renewal on their agenda. So they notified the towns that the facilities are located in. So this is similar to when the board votes on the other business licenses we have, the alcohol permits and things like that. So, I've asked both our fire and police chief if there's been any activity of note that we should be concerned about. Both of them said they have nothing on their record and they would recommend that the local board approves a continuation.
Okay, do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Okay, let's vote. Emma? How do you
Aye.
vote? Ryan?
Aye.
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 Okay, any discussion?
Well, wait now. You can still discuss, but
We can still discuss. Okay, any discussion?
I'll make a comment to say, I want to congratulate Ralph on a good business and bringing the business to the town. It's much appreciated. And, you do a wonderful job down there. And, thank you very much.
Appreciates it as well.
Yep, thank you.
Story. Everybody down there's doing a great job and all earning a great living. Proud to be in this community and we're proud of what the community does back for us as well.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Any other comments? Okay, so we've approved it without discussion.
it was good to know. Huh?
Yeah.
Okey-doke. Next item is to consider appropriation request from Windsor Resource Center. Okay, so we want to start with the budget discussion. Is that
Well,
something?
that is on there, not as an action item, just that
It's an
people had questions about the budget before we get into the action items. We could do that. If there's going to be a lot of that, I guess we could move that.
Right, so I will back up and say budget discussion for FY 2025. Do we have any?
The budget that's in your packet reflects all of the changes that we discussed last week. And then all of the subsequent documents reflect the totals that were based on that budget.
Tom, can you just explain like where we started and where we got to?
Round numbers, we were around 15%. We're now a little shy of 6. Payroll across the board was reduced by 1%, as well as the associated payroll taxes, which was just a matter of no positions have changed. It's just tightening the number, as I think we discussed last week. And that is with all of the other line items that have a little more volatility, not meaning big numbers, but sometimes nothing breaks, sometimes a big part breaks, so we're on the lower side of average of how we do on a number of line items. Obviously, the big thing is no contributions to our rainy day fund and our capital reserve. But as we discussed, we purchased quite a bit of capital items with the ARPA money. So getting through a year like that is not a problem. Just keeping in mind next year, we'll be starting with nothing in the budget, and we don't need to go back to the levels that we were right away, but there'll have to be some kind of building back a contribution.
Yep. And how much do we usually put in our reserves?
This year and last year, it was both. It's like 85 or 90 and 105.
Yeah.
So I'll say 200,000.
Okay.
Over time, we've done this same thing. We started at 0. We went to, I think, 50, 75, then to 0, and then
Yeah.
back to 50. And then each year we were getting it. And my expectation was that around 100,000 per account would be a sustainable level.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Questions, comments?
No, thank you, Tom, for putting the work in to get that somewhat manageable. I think it's a very good number for what we started.
We won't have to break our backs to make it, but we'll need a little luck. So
Yep.
we'll already send out the email this year. Absolute only non-discretionary. And the first thing I get back is, well, we need a $3,000 loader tire. One of them blew. And I asked if it could run on 3 wheels, and it can't. So tomorrow we're spending $3,000 on the tire.
Yeah.
Anything else before we move on to our action items? All right, so action item, consider appropriation request from Windsor Resource Center, and Melanie's here. So Melanie, is there anything you want to share with us?
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's nice to see everybody. I just, I'm not really sure exactly the process here. I know that we I personally missed the deadline for getting the letter in to request continued funding. We've had Resource Center funding for the last several years. And because of that missed deadline, I attempted to do a petition signatures. I had a lot of help from community members in doing that. We didn't meet the 5% limit. We got about 95 votes. I think we needed 134. So I guess I just felt like, the Resource Center is a staple in our community. We help a lot of folks with meeting basic needs, connecting with social services. And I just felt like I owed it to the Resource Center and all of the residents of the town who really went above and beyond to try to collect the number of signatures, just to put it forth to the town if there was any flexibility in being able to still get it put on the ballot, given the several snafus that I've encountered in going through this process. So that was why I submitted the letter to Tom and to all of you as the select board. I don't know if you want me to tell you a little bit about the Resource Center and give you some, numbers for that. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
So I wish I could remember exactly. The Resource Center has been in town for a really long time, maybe 15, 20 years. You know, our goal is really to connect area residents to a wide variety of basic needs, goods, human services. We address homelessness, housing needs, and hunger at a community level. This last year in fiscal year 23, we saw a record number of 5,653 clients, and that's higher than we've ever served before, even pre-pandemic levels. It's actually 66% higher than the highest number we've ever served before. About 68% of the people that utilize the center are from the town of Windsor. About 43% of all the social services visits are helping seniors. We don't have a senior center here in town. So seniors come in, they can get connected with senior solutions, they get free tax help, and lots of other services. So it's really filling a need there. And then about a quarter of all visits are really meeting basic needs, connecting people to food for food security. We have a giving room that offers free clothing if someone's going to a job interview and they don't have the budget to pay for new clothing, they can just take what they need. We also give out personal care items, shampoo, soap, toothbrush, toothpaste. And we also just a few years ago added laundry and shower services at the center, which has been really instrumental in the number of unhoused persons we're seeing in the community. So it's really been a lifesaver for many. This last year, we've added a satellite food cupboard, satellite from the Trinity Food Shelf. And we get Panera bread donations on Wednesdays. We have prepared meals to go. We give out extra veggie Van Goghs on a monthly basis. And also we established a diaper bank in the last year in collaboration with the Springfield Area Parent-Child Center. So don't mean to go into too many details, but really providing a lot of basic needs for folks and helping a lot of folks. So happy to take any questions, but that's my presentation and my ask. If there's some flexibility in having the Resource Center put on the ballot, we would be grateful. If it's a hard and fast, you know, you missed the deadline, you didn't get enough signatures, well, that's okay too. I just wanted to give it my all and thank the community who helped collect so many signatures in a very short amount of time. So thank you.
Yes, Ryan.
Can we do this? Can we,
Can
are we
we,
past the?
Yeah, but without going in a ton of detail, the state sets the deadline for the signatures as whatever day that was, last Thursday, and then there's other rules past that. So there's no around that, but the state also provides the select board with the ability to do this, to consider these as well as the other ones that were received. When the original policy was created to allow, with all the stipulations, organizations to submit the letter to the board, the December 31st deadline was set because we know it's not a regular thing for many. Riley would spend time between December and the middle of January to reach out back and forth, which was done. And then we coincided the board's vote with the state mandated date. So the board meeting closest to that signature date was the one that we've been voting on. The practical aspects after that is the board has the ability to to consider this. The next hard deadline we have is, I believe it's like February 1st that we have to have the warning to the public. And this is a question that has to go on the warning, and we have to get it in the annual report, and the annual report's got to go to a printer and get it printed and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So you can do it, but it wasn't arbitrary when the dates were set. That was the reasoning behind it.
all right, do I hear any motions?
I'll make a motion to, I don't know how to
What
word
is the
it.
request?
Just to read a motion to include the request from the Windsor Resource Center for $5,000 on the town meeting morning.
I do have a question though.
I don't have a discussion.
Are we past that or?
No, the motion is second discussion.
Okay.
Was there a motion?
Motion,
I made a
second motion, yeah.
Second it? Okay, then we can discuss.
Okay, Melanie, how you doing?
I'm well,
Can you
Paul,
hear me?
thanks.
Good. So I have a question for you is, just a general question for the resource center is right now I have pairs of gloves, I have some hats, I have some scarves. Do you accept winter clothing at this time? Something
Yeah,
like that type of clothing?
we do accept donations. I would defer to Carrie Thornton is our service coordinator at the center. And sometimes we get an influx of several donations. So we have to sort of pace things out. And it's usually Carrie posts on the Facebook page when donations are being accepted and certain things that they're looking for. But you can always stop in there too and just see. Usually she takes whatever is being offered unless we're super full. She might have to say we're not taking donations at this time, but it's pretty rare that that happens. So yes,
Okay.
community members take things, but community members also donate. So it's a neighbor helping neighbor approach.
Thank you, Melanie.
Thank you. I see
Emma?
Emma has, yeah.
Hey, I'm sorry for not being there, Milo. I was exposed to COVID and now I've been exposed to RSV. So my question is this is not in the budget currently. So this is in an addition to the budget that we're letting the people decide on the ballot later?
The budget that the select board is voting on doesn't include any of the items voted separately.
Okay, so this is just like we'll vote on the budget and then people in town will be like yes or no later on.
Yeah, they'll vote on the budget. Then there's that whole list of the different agencies and that people vote on. And that's why it's not included in the town budget because people can vote yes or no and then a combination. So it doesn't have any impact on the budget the board votes on. Certainly it has an impact on what the final tax rate is. Every year when we present the tax rate, it says this is the rate for the municipal operations. This is the rate for the outside agencies.
All right, love y'all. Sorry. Thank you for clarifying. I appreciate it.
Any other discussion or questions? Ready to vote? All right, Emma? Vote?
Aye. To
Right.
put it on the table.
Aye.
I,
Aye.
Okay, so we've approved that to go on the voting list, the warning. All right,
Thank you all so much. Very much appreciated.
thank you.
thank you,
Thank you,
Melanie.
Melanie.
Next action item, consider approval of the FY 25 5-year capital plan.
Okay, so this is in your packet. Looks like this. We talked about it at, I think, the second meeting. And at that meeting, we went through the line items and discussed that when you vote on this, you're voting for the funding that's represented in the fiscal 25 line item. The outline years are not impacted by a vote to adopt this. So the difference between this document and the one that you saw during the budget presentation is the 115,000 in funding has been taken out. So nothing is being added to the capital reserve for next year.
Okay.
So it would be a motion to accept the 5-year capital plan as presented with no funding for fiscal 20.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
Okay, let's have any discussion about this? Questions, concerns? Okay, let's take a vote. Emma, how do you vote?
Aye.
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 I,
Aye.
Okay. That item has passed. Next action item is consider approval of general fund budget value for town meeting.
Nice. I'll copy off your. So in your packet. Also, you know what, slide down, unless you check marks on, I'll give this one.
No, they're not.
Okay. So in your packet, this is just kind of a belt and suspenders kind of thing.
Yep.
There's an article that'll end up being Article 23 on the warrant that states what the municipal budget's going to be. And what we do is we ask for approval of a dollar value equal to the budget that was presented. And then indicating how much of those funds need to be raised by taxes. This difference is the outside income we get, the various things we discussed. So, really what I'm looking for here is a motion to adopt the value of $6,466,683 to defray the general expenses of the town of Windsor in fiscal 24-25. $4,569,180 of it to be raised by taxes.
Make a motion.
A second?
Okay, open for discussion? Discussion? Okay. Let's take a vote then. Emma?
Aye.
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 I,
Aye.
Motion is passed. Next item up is consider approval of 2024 town meeting warning.
And that's print in the agenda should be the 2025.
2025, okay.
Well, that was in the statement. It's a 2024 town meeting. So that's correct. It's budget for fiscal 25.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
sorry. I had Riley prepare two warnings, one with the resource center, one without. So, I would ask, you don't have to differentiate that, but, a motion to approve the March 2024 annual town meeting warning as presented, consisting of 25 articles. I've gone through it, Riley's gone through it, and, well, I think Deb Olmsted has gone through it for accuracy. So what it is, first section is that I would say essentially non-monetary things other than the select board salaries, but what days we collect the taxes, things like that. Then a list of the articles that are the qualifying outside agencies. And then you get down to Article 24, that's the municipal budget. And 25 is a standard one, shall the voters authorize the select board to borrow amounts of money for up to 5 years. So no bond questions this year.
Well, I will make a motion to approve the warning as presented, the 25 articles.
I'll second that.
Okay, discussion? Okay, no discussion, we'll vote. Emma, how do you vote?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
Aye.
I,
Aye.
Okay, we've passed that warning as presented. 25 articles. I don't see anything else on here other than signing orders.
That is correct.
Okay, you have a motion to sign orders?
Make a motion.
A second.
Emma? You vote to
Aye.
sign order? Okay, Brian?
Aye.
Aye.
I,
Aye.
Okay, we'll sign orders. Now it's time for public comments for items not on the agenda. No public comments. Okay. Board member comments. Emma, do you have anything?
This has been really difficult. I apologize for not being there as much as I wish I could have, and I really appreciate a lot of great questions from the board members and also from the budget committee. I keep hearing the woman, I cannot remember her name because I'm the worst person ever, but her looking at the budget and saying, I don't know where to cut. And I think that we did the best we could, and I hope that it looks good to the people. And thank y'all for your patience.
Okay, thank you. Ryan?
I'd like to thank everybody that participated in the budget process, but thanks to Tom and the department heads for making what I would consider some sacrifices on this budget, and hopefully it makes sense and works. So I appreciate that, sir.
I agree. I think it's been an interesting and successful process to come to where we are with the budget. Yeah, I appreciate all the input and the help.
I do as well. I also wanted to say thank you to the budget committee and the department heads and Tom and everybody that got us here. And the next meeting, the next support group meeting for overdose awareness and grief is the first Thursday of every month. So the next one's February 1st from 6 to 8 at the Welcome Center.
And I'd like to reiterate what everyone's been saying. We're thanking everyone from the department heads to Tom, the committee. And I want to throw out another special thank you to Riley behind the scenes, putting all their hard work into everything too, and getting everything lined up for us to get ready to vote. Thank you.
Sign those orders.
Okay. This is the warning. There are specific line items for every name, and then there are 2 sheets to sign for the warrants. So you want to circle your calendars for March 4th. That is the informational meeting that'll be held at the Welcome Center. Select board needs to be there. This happens to be one of those gaps where there's 3 weeks until the next meeting, so we get a little bit of a break from the weekly meetings. I forget the date off the top of my head, but second Tuesday in February,
Is it at 6:30?
6:30.
Okay. Had it saved in there from last year.
But it said 7. You're talking about that?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. The next select board meeting is at 6:30.
Oh.
The informational meeting is at
Is at
7.
7.
Yes, that's what I thought.
We have an electrician lined up for the lights on the outside.
Here we go.
And it's getting lighter later or earlier, so whatever. Staying.
Has it been diagnosed at all, or that's what they come up with?
Maybe figure in this.
Yep.
Take a look at it.
Yep. Get some weather coming in, huh? Where I work, they already canceled school.
Wait for tomorrow?
For what day?
Yes. Woodstock already canceled.
Ice, yeah.
What's tomorrow, Wednesday? Well, Windsor only has a half a day, so I don't think it would be a big deal if they cancel.
Oh, this is the first one of these meetings in a few weeks that didn't have a mess coming down.
I know, I
I didn't have
have
to clean Jeffrey's
I
car out.
couldn't make it in person because it's so nasty out where we are.
Well then.
All right, so I'm gonna adjourn the meeting and it is 2 minutes till 7. 6:58.